This stream contains fast flashing images that may affect viewers who are susceptible to photosensitive epilepsy and other photosensitivities. Viewer discretion is advised. The competition is already heating up, and it could get even spicier as today the defending champions will be taking the stage. Hello everyone and welcome to day 2 of Game Changers Championship 2024. Coming to you live from the Riot Games Arena here in Berlin, Germany. I am your host Yingsu, and I am so delighted to be joined by one of the greatest minds and coaches of our generation.
Thanks.
Runner-up at Masters Tokyo, the winner at Champs 2023 as well. It's Potter and Tom.
I saw that one coming. Absolute mile off, I'm going to be honest with you.
Are you not excited to be in the presence of greatness?
Of course.
That was a
of course.
great introduction, Yusuf.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thing
Thank
is,
you.
I've worked with Potter before some
Years.
of the greatness.
Years.
Some of the greatness.
Yeah,
'Cause,
yeah.
You know, you were pretty good at playing games as well before
Back
you got
in the
into
day.
coaching. I was only like okay at casting.
Oh, so
That
nothing's
was the-
changed then.
No,
Let's talk about what happened yesterday. Because we did also witness, I feel like, some greatness, some sparks, and some crazy rounds too. Let's just start with the first game. I mean, we saw Visa Crew Blaze take the stage, and Tom, Mitch was really adamant that their win streak is going to continue, and he was for once correct.
Yeah, they were up against a Zeta squad, which I'll be honest, my expectations were a little bit low. But to be honest, it was a maybe slightly closer game than I expected. Still, I think the Visa Crew Blaze managed to perform to a decent standard, and some of the individuals on their squad are kind of crazy.
Kind of crazy indeed. I mean, we have to talk about Dodds. It was all about them just popping off, starting on Bind, but the Neon. It's been such a point of discussion all year long. How OP is this agent? But in the hands of Dodds, I mean, it just looks so fluid, playing to her natural instincts, and this team looked deadly.
Yeah, they did indeed. And as you guys can see in the bracket, some of the teams, they managed to move on to the next round in the upper bracket. But looking in the lowers, Potter, are you at all surprised by those 3 teams dropping down that early?
No, I mean, I guess FlyQuest read a little bit with my NA bias coming through. Yesterday, they had, you know, a very close series to end out our day. A little disappointing, I gotta say, but I think that lower bracket looks pretty spot on.
Yeah, I'd say it was more the manner of which Falcons won that surprised me. I didn't expect it to be as dominant as it was. Like, they absolutely blitzed their Chinese opponents, which is maybe a little bit worrying.
Yeah, and I feel like on day 1, anything can happen, you know, just getting warmed up. I think as the competition goes is where we're really going to see which teams has what it takes. And as the competition goes, we're going to be crediting and bringing light to some MVP performances. We're going to be doing that every single day and give a tournament MVP at the end as well at the finals. So let's start. I think we can have some early shouts. You guys mentioned Dodds already, who just woke up, said it's Dodds time and dotted all over them. Do you think though she's going to be able to keep this up? Is this the kind of performance you can do every day in this tournament?
It's tough to say, but since you mentioned, Yunsu, the first day performances, a lot of these teams, a lot of these players haven't been on this stage in quite some time. So getting those jitters off the table is the point of discussion. But for Dodds, again, she didn't look like anything was phasing her yesterday. So I think especially being on that Neon, you've got to be decisive. You've got to be mobile. So that playstyle, it kind of tees her up to keep it the firepower going.
For me, today's the test.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Today's
a
the test.
much tougher game than I feel like she had in the first, so I am going to be a little bit more interested as whether or not you can still run around and just out-frag absolutely everybody, pull off those like 3, 4, 5Ks if needed, or if versus G2 it'll be a little bit more difficult.
Especially Res Q, right? If you
Yeah.
can pull out this kind of
Vanya.
performance. Oh, yeah, I mean, any of them, literally any of them. But moving on, and again, I feel like every tournament, we've had kind of a super sub, you know, historically, they've always existed. And Tom, yesterday very much felt like it was Lexa's day.
Oh, Lexa was unbelievable. Like, I think it's easy to highlight a MABV or someone like that who statistically was at the top. But I think Lexa coming in, they even said in the interview, oh, yeah, we kind of just left her to do her own thing. She was lurking, she was site anchoring. It's like as if that's just an easy thing that you could come in on the day and go, yeah, I'm just going to site anchor versus anyone up against me. And she was pretty much flawless. I believe she only died 14 times in 2 maps, which if that's your Sentinel player, that site is on lock. Like, you're barely dying at all. That's an easy win for the team.
Yeah, having your ringer coming into the tournament and being so just competent on that role and not having to worry about it. Of course, it helps out for Lexa to be on the Sentinel role, coming in as that ringer, being on the extremity, being on an island oftentimes. So Lexa absolutely stepped up and wasn't a reason why Falcons had to worry about any sort of game plan.
It's the same narrative, though. Today is the bigger test, right? If Lexa can be cool and calm and collected, and they're able to do something against Shopify, you know, maybe it's the super sub and all super subs.
Oh, yeah, if you could beat Shopify in your second game with a team, yeah, that's a pretty big thing to do. But well, we won't hold our breath just yet. We'll wait.
We will get there. And lastly, we have one more player I thought we should highlight when it comes to the MVPs. And of course, it is Zips, Alexi. I like what I see when it comes to her. And Potter, you were casting that game. How great was her performance?
It was such a fantastic game. You even just saw right there that re-peek on the Jet. Alexi's not normally the duelist that we see for this squad, but you know, Tom and I were talking about it backstage. Last year, they were inspired with that 4 duelist lock-in. They were inspired, and Alexi accidental, but calculated, some might say, because Alexi looked good yesterday, and the energy that she was bringing for the rest of her squad, all of her teammates getting lifted up and just leading by example. This team was fantastic to watch last night.
Yeah, she was one of the players I really wanted to sort of talk about coming into the tournament. I think regionally she played insane, but the fact that she came in yesterday, switched roles slightly, like she always been able to play a duelist, but then have the initiator in the middle and go, I can still do that too. But also, here's me jet-opping and just obliterating my opposition.
Yeah, and again, I feel like a team that might not be the dark horses for much longer if they can keep up that kind of performance. I don't know how I feel about that, Tom.
That's what it means.
But very quickly, just a tiny tidbit, because we were chatting in the green room, and Potter, you said back in your kind of playing days, there was a bit of, you know, Alexi and you as well. You were very similar in terms of energy on stage.
Yeah. I mean, I was the go-to energy lifter. I was the person that had no fear. I was pounding my chest, getting up,
I can testament to all of this.
Tom saw it all. So I love that. You know,
I was
especially
scared.
If you have youngins on your team. You gotta let them know that this is just another Tuesday.
Well,
the scenery has changed a little bit, but it's just
while playing,
the
she
same
actually looked
game.
at me when I'm coming for your job too. And
I mean, it's not a hard job to take, but Tom is just going to get roasted all day today.
My first day
but
here.
let's get spicier, you know? It's not spicy enough. We've only seen one day of this tournament, so it's perfect time to have some overreactions for us to kind of just have a bit of a takeaway from what we saw yesterday. And I'm going to go first. I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. So some people doubted the decision to give EMEA an extra seed. Potter, some people. And I think after yesterday, after the way Falcons competed and their performance on stage, I don't think 3 teams is enough. I think we need 4, maybe 5.
Who would be our 4th team, Sue?
Honestly, odd one out. Bring them in. Bring back,
do you know who I want?
Bring in NASA.
KC.
KC, yes,
Bring
KC.
back Roxy and Glance.
I
miss
mean,
them.
God knows that we have a lot of orgs in our region. So after if our 3rd seed is doing that yesterday, think about our 4th seed.
Just bring them all, honestly, all of them.
Yes, exactly. I like it. That is my overreaction. Yeah, Tom, what you got?
Oh, mine is maybe a little bit early because we haven't seen some of the teams play, but I think Romy has the best sheriff at the tournament. Like yesterday, she was absolutely cracked. Like some of the rounds she was able to win on her own, pulling out the sheriff. I don't know if anyone's going to match up to that.
I think that's really reasonable, though. I don't know
not
if you're
that big of
we haven't seen
Yeah.
G2 play, and we haven't seen Shopify play.
Okay.
We had a day 1 team. I think it's an overreaction. I'm not just bringing every team to the event, sir, okay? I'm coming in with something slightly more rational.
Okay, yeah, I'm with you. Okay, Potter, what you got? What's your overreaction?
My overreaction is we saw one of the OG comps coming out with Pearl coming back in yesterday. Gotta go with Harbor. Harbor is coming back into the meta. The high tide, it doesn't matter about the bullet nerfs, guys. We're gonna be spamming that long B. We're going back to that.
What about
Can't
Phoenix?
see anyone,
Is
but
Phoenix
let's
coming
just
back
shoot.
into the meta?
It might
That
be,
would have
but
been more of an
Harbor-
overreaction.
I think Harbor is so back.
Harbor's so back. Yeah.
Is that an overreaction?
We
I
just
think
farm the
Harbor-
orbs, get the high tide out.
So-
Harbor's back.
So who's playing Harbor on EG next year?
We're gonna have to eeny, meeny, miny, moe that one.
Oh, okay.
Yay,
I can't
Harbour.
See
wait.
who
I'm ready.
pulls the short string on that one, maybe.
Okay. I can't wait to see that. I can't wait to see that. And speaking of Pearl, I know Jimmy Lin was very, very excited about Pearl coming back, and everyone else too. I feel like we finally got to see on day one as well. Talk me through this. Since you were mentioning the Harbour, how do we feel about the meta we're starting to see develop?
That's a good question. You know,
Come
my
on, Coach.
team, we ran
Give us all the
Vice.
leaks. I want leaks.
I think the meta is still to be determined. The double controller or
She's
double
saying this is
sentinel
wrong.
is still a huge point of
In a
contention.
nice way.
But Tara was a beast yesterday. If we can see more Harbors playing like Tara did as an anchor, I mean, one of the biggest problems with Harbor is the lack of stopping
So in
power.
your scrims, what have you been playing?
Hey, our comp already got leaked. Our comp is already out there. It's fine.
Oh, so you can just
playing.
talk
Yeah,
us
we're
through it
playing
then.
Vice. Vice is our solo sentinel.
Okay.
Hey, we beat sentinels. It worked out, kind of.
Cooks.
Yeah,
A little bit.
honestly.
I think it cooks. The long range lineups with the
Yeah,
slow
I
orbs,
can't believe in my
the
intro I
vibes.
didn't mention the third place of Sen City Classic as well. That's such an important one. Such
Third
an important
place.
one. And
Highlight
Tom,
of the career, right?
Yes.
and Tom, I'm sure some people might care about what you think as well. So how do you feel about this?
I love double duelists. Very cool, very aggressive, and Alexi was cracked. That's the thing. If you have players who are good enough, you can run whatever you like. I do think maybe having a little bit more in terms of the information, like I think based off the fade, like this comp means you have to be incredibly aggressive on the defense, but I do prefer it to a Phoenix.
Okay, I mean, I want to know what the people at home think as well. But before that, we're kicking the day off with Giant X versus MIBR. And we kind of alluded to it already. The defending champions, they're going to be back a little bit later. But in that middle game too, we have technically, I guess, the defending champions in Berlin taking the stage. So some very, very big games. We saw Crew already. We saw Falcons already, which means we have 4 teams we haven't seen yet. And that is going to be very, very exciting. And all of that brings us to our Mastercard fan poll. Who do you guys think is going to be the biggest favorite in this tournament? G2 Gozen or Shopify Rebellion? I don't know if NA's awake yet, so we might be able to rig this poll a little bit. So make sure you guys scan the QR code and vote in that one as well. And also, if you have any opinions, you know, you want to agree with Christine or disagree with Tom, feel free to use the hashtags VCT Game Changers and VCT so we can feature you on the broadcast as well. And for now, let's just get into today's matchup straight away and talk about Giant X. Here is what Ness had to say about her team's glow up.
For us, I think we were lost like back then when we started playing as a team. Like it take a while to like bring the synergy to the team. Like we had energy issues, like sometimes comms, and I think right now we fixed like many stuff. Like for example, this stage was really bad for us because we were trying to play the perfect game. Like we were trying to win the game by like playing safe, you know, like advantage. But now we just like step back and think about it, and we are so ready to play our own game, like instead of like focusing on the enemy or like advantages, you know?
Yeah, you found your own style in the server. That's fantastic to hear.
All right, here's the thing about Giant X. I think I'm going to be biased, but the thing is, in an ecosystem where teams, you know, they make a lot of changes, they kind of flip-flop with their rosters, Tom, they actually came in with a plan. You know, we hear very often a long-term project, so on and so forth. But this is a project that is working and that has improved over the year compared to the start.
Yeah, I think I really like what Ness said in that interview, where she sort of talked about the fact that this team has its own identity. They tried to move away to something that would maybe beat a G2 at their own game. Like, okay, let's try and trade everything effectively. Let's play everything safe. That's never been the identity of this team. You watch Smurfette play, she doesn't play safe. She plays aggro, she gets in your face, and she's disruptive. And I think now, over the last couple of months, they've started to incorporate that more and go, okay, that's our strength. Let's actually utilize it. And that's why they were one of the teams that actually took a map off G2, a map that they, well, that was Abyss that they were never expected to win. So I like where this team is going. It's how far can it take them? Can they get all the way?
I like it too. This this is the exact kind of team that I become a huge fan of. The storyline is so similar to what I'm used to seeing, which is sticking with your roster, being bigger than the sum of your parts, and working together to find that teamwork. So I love what the IGL said in that interview, talking about how they are heating up and warming up right at the peak of time. This is the time for them to start to feel like, okay, everything is kind of coming together. We are feeling like we're hitting our peak right now. So hopefully they're able to execute that on the stage.
Yeah, and I can't wait to hear more about what they had to say. Let's check in with Jelena, who's standing by with Victoria.
Hello, and I am with Jelena right now. Now, this is your very first international event after the Istanbul one. How's your experience been so far? Are you excited to be here?
Yeah, I mean, it was a great time also in Istanbul, but now like, it's this big like international stage, you know, and I'm really excited to be playing all the teams from different regions and stuff.
Are you feeling more nervous, more excited, or totally amped up to kick some butt?
I am a little nervous, but mostly just like excited and ready to like show what we can do, you know?
Yeah. All right, well, thank you very much, and best of luck in today's game.
Thank you.
I don't think I've ever seen Jelena nervous. I think she's just always chill, cool, calm, knows what she's doing. But also, I think we do have to mention there are, you know, veteran players on this roster too. Because, Tom, think about how long Ness and Smurfer have been together as a duo in this region.
Yeah, for sure.
Crazy.
You can go all the way back to the likes of Guild. They played together. I think they were together a bit on Foot as well. Like, they have been one of the most consistent duos that we've seen in all of EMEA, and they seem like the best of friends. Like, they genuinely enjoy playing together, enjoy working together, and I think they bring that in with the roster that comes with them. It's like, if you fit in with their dynamic, it's going to be fantastic.
They also have Turkish players, and we know what that means. We know what that means.
I'm across the pond, and I've heard about what that means. So I fully understand. You talked about veterans, Yinsu. We got to also mention Sarah coming over from G2. For me, I mean, on the international stage, this is the second time I'm going to be seeing this player on a brand new squad. So I love the fact that she's finding her footing on a new team. She's soaked up all that experience and all that great gameplay coming out from G2 last year. And hopefully she's able to let her other players kind of soak that up as well.
The crazy thing as well is, we'll show our stats in a minute, there's not many places where you go from being a duelist to an initiator and from a player in a team to an IGL, and your stats go up. Like, that's a really weird scenario, but it just shows that she clearly needed experience. So she was thrown in at the deep end. G2, they always look for the exact piece, and I don't think it's that Sarah was not a good player, it was that she wasn't necessarily the right person they needed at the time.
Yeah, and I always love when you see a duelist kind of switch that role. They always have that duelist flair, and the way that they take duels, it's just different. They were used to being through all that chaos, and so I think that sort of flair definitely gives Sarah the edge here.
And of course, we gotta remember, she hasn't been an IGL for very long. This team had no IGL for stage 1 and most of stage 2.
The HyperX.
Yeah, as well. But I mean, Sarah's talked about actually the way that she's been IGLing, she learned it from Mimi. And I feel like if you're gonna learn anything from Mimi, it's gonna improve you as a player no matter what. But this is the question though. They've been doing great in EMEA. This is a team we all know and love. But what are they gonna do when they go up against MIBR from Brazil? Because I cannot believe that this is gonna be both of these teams' first games on this stage, because this team, they beat Team Liquid to get here, Potter, and not many teams beat Team Liquid.
Yeah, that's a huge testament in itself, a statement coming over here to Europe. The fact that you're now the representative for Brazil, the lone representative, because you knocked out Liquid to be here is a testament in itself. We've got to look straight at SRN here. I mean, this player has been just popping off on the duelist role, and ever since they joined this roster earlier this year, it's been a complete turnaround for this squad, just elevating all the gameplay coming through. And just the aggression coming out of this player is just mind-blowing.
Yeah, it would have taken something like that in general, because we talk about Team Liquid as a whole. They're finalists. They're a team that should be at this event. I think obviously a conversation we need to have elsewhere, but I think the fact that they finally managed to
more slots.
Oh boy.
Sorry, carry on.
The fact that they finally managed to overcome a hurdle, which is basically beating a finalist. Like, that is such a difficult thing to do. It took them so many attempts. I don't know that we have the sort of match history that we can show up where it's ridiculous. I think they were like 8-1 or something in losses, and then over the last couple of series, they were able to win 3 times in a row within game changes. And that in itself is impressive alone.
If we use Team Liquid as a benchmark, though, you know, they came top 3. They're a top 3 team at Champs.
Yeah.
And MIBR beat them to get here. Are we, you know, looking at this team as a top 3 contender at this global tournament?
Potentially. Like, they
that's
are
fair.
inexperienced. That's the only thing I'll say. Like, Team Liquid had the experience over time of constantly playing at the top level. This team has had a meteoric rise. They've been together a while, at least the core of them, but it's whether or not now going to a different country, playing on the LAN stage against other styles of play, or even maybe in this match, a similar style of play. Because that was the thing. I think Team Liquid were a lot more sort of structured and controlled. This team's very aggressive. So Giant X. So that's going to be another thing. Is like, if someone fights you with your own style, are you ready to play against it?
Fire with fire. I mean, look, if MIBR play even half as close as well as they have in the Brazilian lands, we are in for a treat. This team is explosive, so I'm ready.
Also, I need like a Portuguese translator on site just to tell us what they're screaming about. Like the insults they're throwing, the trash talk they're doing.
Censor.
We need it. I can't wait to see it. But let's send it back to Victoria and check in with MIBR even. Sayori.
I'm with Sayori right now. Now, you got to see some of the teams play yesterday for the first time across region against each other. How do you think your team is going to fare amongst all of them?
I think like it's going to be a challenge. So, but we are very good at adapting ourselves. So I think it's going to be fun, and we're going to be okay.
Yeah, you're going to be okay. How okay? On the scale of 1 to 10 teams.
I think 8. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, all right. Well, very humble of you, and best of luck in today's game.
Thank you.
Things are going to change when they get on that stage. I feel like the sentiment, you know, the energy, the trash talk
I'll
is going
be
to come out.
honest, she's already changed from the pre-tape. I was speaking with her and Jelly, and she basically said, oh, like, I think Jelly went, yeah, it's going to be close, maybe OTs. And she went, close?
Oh.
I think this one will be easy. So I don't know. She is very confident.
Okay, I love that. I love that. I mean, they got a reason to be confident. You mentioned SRN already, and putting into context of all of the other players in this tournament, where would you place SRN? I mean, we've seen Dodds already. We know like Rescue Vania, Floor has got to play as well.
Yeah.
Where does SRN fit?
I want to see their first match first because SRN's success is off the back of Sayuri and Mel. These two players have incredible assists. Their stats are actually quite mind-blowing. So I think if these two are able to set up SRN for as much success as she's been having in Brazil, then she's got to be one of the top duelists, top 2 duelists at this tournament.
It's also going to be interesting because SRN as well is not someone who's like, oh yeah, you come in, Neon's really OP and you're abusing Neon. Doesn't play Neon.
No.
Like, it's Jet and Raze and once Yoru. So it really is just the aim is off the charts. And I do think if you're asking that question, maybe just below Floor. And that's only because Floor is proven. SRN is unbelievable in terms of aim.
Can you believe it? Younger than Floor.
Yeah.
Younger than Floor.
That is crazy.
The talent that comes in, I feel like, into these tournaments every year just get crazier and crazier and crazier. 17 years old, by the way, SRN coming into this tournament. I mean, I can't wait to see them in action. But for more on MIBR, Tom kind of spoiled it a little bit because he had a little...
Whoops.
Yeah, he had a little fun chat with Jelly and Sayori to play a quick game of nondescript wooden blocks. Check this out.
Hello, I am joined by Sayuri and Jelly, and today we are going to be playing a game of building blocks. Now, you might be thinking, I've seen something like this before, but there's questions on them. So, Jelly, just take it away. Take your first block and your first question for your opponent.
Okay, I'm going to take this first one.
You take the top one?
You said, what is your favorite memory with your team?
Oh,
I sure hope it's
very
with
cute.
me.
I guess winning.
Oh dear. There's no good memories. None at all.
I mean, there's so many that I can't choose. You understand? It's so hard for me.
You know, winning
Winning,
when we first met on our first boot camp.
Yes.
When we first
all
went
of
out
them.
to
Yes, I loved all of the moments.
Do you know, I think you should take a break.
Yeah.
Maybe you ask the question and Jelly can answer it for us.
Who's the funniest player on your team?
It's me.
Yes.
I'm the funniest player.
And the humblest.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. You know, I'm kind of...
It's just for the cameras, maybe.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I try to be funny. Do you think I'm funny? Is that the main question?
Yes, no. I'm just saying that maybe you're not that humble.
Okay, I'm just gonna take one.
Yeah, we'll move swiftly. Oh, you're taking a risk here.
I'm good. If you could delete an agent from the game, who would it be? Neon.
Yeah, right now, Neon.
Are you going to be bringing out a Neon this event? That's the real question.
Let's see.
See, I'm asking my own questions now. I'm stealing this one
You
away.
have
Yeah,
to
go
get
for
a
it.
brick.
Go for another
Get a brick now.
Yeah, is that on one of them? Does it say anywhere
Yeah.
we're going to play Neon?
Oh.
That's it. I think you. Oh, this,
Doesn't. Okay.
yeah, maybe go for it. This one looks a bit loose.
Okay.
Just keep it in place.
What is your biggest pet peeve?
Biggest pet peeve with my team, or
I don't know.
Let's go in general. What's your
In
biggest
general?
pet peeve in general?
I think I have a little. I think cleaning and being clean
Oh,
is
okay.
like something I can't.
You're not like a messy person.
No, I don't.
So who's the
try not
messiest
to
in the
be.
team?
Mel.
We're throwing someone under the bus.
Mel,
Mm-hmm.
I would say SRN, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
Okay, so they've got to do better. They've got to do better in other words. Go on.
Here we are exposing your teammates and stuff. Okay, good. Is this one gonna be? Oh, that's fine. Pineapple on pizza? Really?
Pineapple on pizza.
I guess it's a yes or no. Pineapple on
Well,
pizza.
I've never eaten before, so.
Okay, we'll have to sort that out while you're in Berlin, that's
No, please no. I don't want to
for
have
sure. No? Is that bad? Have you ever had it?
Yes.
You have. You didn't like it. Not a fan.
No.
Okay. Do you know what? I think it's not underrated, but I think it's overhated. That's what I'll say. I don't think it's as bad as people say.
It's okay.
It's all right.
It's nothing special, but it's.
Try not to knock the tower down. The last one was dangerous.
Yeah.
What is your favorite skin?
Oh, that's a good one. MIBR Classic.
See, now that's a
that's a
clever
clever
answer.
one.
Now, I think we've had enough breaks. I'm going to ask a question of my own. What do you think the Brazilian representative, MIBR, is going to do to the opposition at this event? Question answered.
Destroy everything?
Iconic, absolutely iconic. I can't wait to see them actually do that on stage, but also just having these players finally a chance. I feel like a little bit emotional, you know. They nearly made it last year as well on other rosters, and I can't wait to see it. I just can't wait to see them play.
I've never seen anyone use a penguin as a weapon before, but, you know.
I have.
Yeah.
It was KP 2 years ago.
Yes.
Yes.
How do you remember that?
You know, this brain.
That memory is just locked in, just absolutely locked in.
Traumatized. That's what it was. Traumatized.
I actually do remember that a while ago. But it's time for the Mastercard fan poll results. Earlier, we asked you guys which team was the tournament favorite, and you were all correct.
Wow.
Sorry, 58.1%
Yeah, I was about to say,
of you were correct.
No,
That's
Yinsu,
not
I
how a
think
poll
you were
works.
correct. The Americans aren't awake yet.
All right, who do you think is the favorites as the American representative?
I mean, it's got to be Shopify. You know, I mean, come on. I
Defending
am
champions, you know?
outnumbered here on
We
the
do- we
desk.
I
but-
like an underdog, you know? G2 are definitely underdogs.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Massive
sure.
dark horse.
Yeah, or just horse, as you said
Yeah,
earlier.
just a horse.
Just
They
a
are a
horse.
horse in the race.
But are you leaning towards G2 for this in terms of tournament favorites?
Yeah, the thing is, when it comes to Petra and Mimi, I'm very biased. So I'm going to say it's dead even who's going to win.
Oh,
but in
that's
my
boring.
heart,
Wow.
G2 are going to win.
That's boring. I Zipto. I'm throwing Zipto.
Zipto?
in there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think Zipto.
Bold.
I think Zipto finals against one of those.
Yeah, MIBR against MIBR.
Yeah, exactly. And speaking of predictions, let's take a look and see what everyone else predicted for today. We have 3 games, of course, going on. And okay, I need to like focus my eyes a little bit on who went with what. Am I the only person that put Falcons
Yes.
over Shopify?
I'm
Oh,
noticing
wow.
a theme with your choices, Sue.
Oh, what, just like 3 amazing teams?
Yeah, the 3 EMEA teams.
Just EMEA for you, huh?
The 3 teams with the most aura. I mean, Mitch nearly won with me, but
But then he corrected himself in the third.
all I'm going to say,
Back to reality.
all I'm going to say is at Champions, everybody put Sentinels over EDG. What happened?
Okay,
What happened?
it is a different event.
What happened, Tom? I was right and you were wrong. So I feel like you know I might be a minority for a reason for this.
is part of it because Smurfette is a big Taylor Swift fan?
Oh, it's all because
Okay, all
Smurfette
because
is a
good to
big
know.
Part of it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I do feel like if it happens though, I'm willing to say it was an upset because I think you guys are right. I think you're
I
right.
was right, and it was an
No,
upset.
but they're the favorites. Top 5 are the favorites for a reason. So I think if Falcons can pull this through, it's going to be an upset. It will be an upset. But that game will be happening a little bit later. The scene, however, is set already for this first game, and the players are ready to go. So let's get this show rolling. It's time to kick off day 2 of Game Changers Championship 2024.
Going into the 2024 championship, it feels like we haven't skipped a beat because we haven't changed our roster. Our chemistry is all there, we're still working just as hard, and everyone knows the expectations and what's at stake. None of us are strangers to the pressure. That is what makes us stronger.
You never win if you playing it safe. It's all a game until you get played.
Respect to their players. They won the championship last year, but we're also here to win it all and bring it home for EMEA.
D2 wins the series. Definitely painful if you're a C9 fan.
I lost to Mary 2 years ago. She is a phenomenal player. It'll be a battle, and hopefully we come out on top.
Laura is a good duelist, all my respect to her. But honestly, it's never about the individual, it's about the team.
They're looking at us, they want the prize, but so do we. We need to lock in.
When I was a kid, I used to have to share consoles and PCs with my brother. My biggest supporter is definitely my dad. He's always supported me from the beginning. Without his support, I don't think I would be where I am today.
Foi ano passado mesmo que eu comecei a levar o jogo mais a sério, assim, pro lado profissional. Então, tipo, é um sentimento muito gostoso de estar entre as melhores equipes do mundo e ao mesmo tempo de, tipo, querer mais ainda, sabe? Eu tenho muita confiança pra enfrentar qualquer time que venha pela nossa frente.
We're meant to be here. It's time to show what we got.
Eu bati na trave 2 vezes para estar aqui no Mundial. E agora eu realizei esse grande sonho que é estar aqui e eu tô muito feliz.
Don't be obsessive, it could be intensive, it could be explosive, it could be offensive.
We have been at every GCC and so has crew, but so far we haven't ever played them. It seems like they get better with every GCC event. I'm excited to get a little bit of the taste of LATAM.
Sinceramente, eu não vi tantos jogos da G2 esse ano, mas eu já vi, né, a Mimi e a Petra e elas são muito boas. Para ser campeão vai ter que ganhar de todo mundo, então para mim todo time é um time e o que for vir a gente vai jogar contra e vai amassar. Então G2, boa sorte porque vocês vão precisar, tamo junto.
Don't you mess with us, we're not afraid.
Don't forget, you're playing in the House of Gozen.
here to prove that they are more than just the best team in Brazil, but the best team in the world. But can they do it in this opener against Giant Eggs, who technically have the home crowd advantage?
Yeah, I think this is going to be one, well, immediately where we have lost the 2 maps that were expected. Fine going, GX haven't enjoyed playing it, and it was a great map for MIBR. My question was going to be what they would pick, because Icebox was their go-to pick. Now that's out of the pool. They've gone for Pearl. It's the new map in, and we really don't have much data because this GX team didn't really exist when Pearl was actually within the pool. So I'm excited to see what they're going to pull out here.
Yeah, I think this Abyss Veto coming through for MIBR, it's good measure. As you mentioned, Tom, that Icebox getting out of the mix, it's such a huge plus for a team like MIBR, being able to take out another weak point out of theirs. Both these squads coming in, I'm excited to see what these comps are going to be, because Giants, they usually run weird kind of off-meta comps, some random Yorus thrown into the mix, and as you mentioned earlier, Tom, SRN doesn't run the Neon. So with Pearl, that Neon has been the flavor of the month on this map. So are they going to stick with the Jet? Are they going to bust out the Neon? These are my questions.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the agent select. This is the thing though, the last time we saw Pearl from some of these players, Smurfette was really just a Jet one trick back then. She was just running Jet every single map, and he looked pretty good on Pearl too. So I wouldn't be super surprised if they want to lean into that comfort pick, and it looks like that is what they're going to do. What do you guys think about this? Again, totally different comps to what we saw yesterday.
Very different, very different. You can see the Cypher coming out for Miori on the Giant X side, and on MIBR, they don't have any shock darts. They don't have any answers besides the KJ Molly lineups to be able to take care of that first. So for SRN, if they're not aware of where these shock darts, or rather trips, are set up, might have a hard time actually scaling into the site here.
Yeah, I think for the other side, but GX almost looks like comfort picks. Like, I feel like everybody's just gone for the agent that they enjoy playing the most. I feel like obviously bringing in the Astra now with the additional star, I think is going to be perfect for post plants, but I expect to see that on Pearl a lot because there are sweaty post plants on this map.
Yeah. I love the flashes. I mean, you talked about the KO flashes, but Sky on the other side of things, these are both long-range flashes. And when we saw Pearl yesterday, that was lacking. We saw Phoenix on one side, Fade on the other, and so their duelist wasn't able to really take the duels that they wanted. So in this matchup, for Smurfette and SRN getting teed up with these pop flashes across the board, we're going to see some insane set plays coming out.
It almost feels like we've been brought back to like reality after the Pearl comps we saw yesterday. And I mean, the Killjoy versus Cypher, we got a preference?
My only worry for MIBR is lack of info on defense. Like, I feel like they're going to have to play a bit more aggressive because all they have is that Sky.
That's a good point. I mean, the KJ turret does give a little bit more long-range info versus the Cypher, like you mentioned, Yinsu, but I prefer the Cypher on this. The KJ alarm bot is just too easy to counter with the Astra smokes that you're able, once you find out what the setup is. The Cypher one is a little bit different, and like I mentioned, with the ability of not being able to break them, I think Cypher's going to have the edge in this one.
Well, to quote Tom Biz, I don't think you're ready for this jelly, but I hope Wyatt and Uber are ready for this jelly. Over to you guys.
Thank you very much, Insu. Yeah, we are locked in for this one, folks. The first time that both MIBR and Giant X have taken each other on, and many who maybe weren't as entrenched in Game Chambers this year are wondering where the heck Team Liquid Brazil are. MIBR vanquished them in not only Series 2, but also Series 3. Now the front runner from that region. And Giant X have stuck together. This team have kept this core roster with the one purpose of seeing how far they could take it with these 5 players.
And it's just been a steady improvement as the year has gone on. You know, they started Stage 1, finishing in 3rd place. It was below G2, below Falcons. And same in Stage 2, but noticeable improvements. And then by the time we're at Stage 3, they're in the grand finals. They're in a position like this. And it is just mad to see them against MIBR, 5 players who have never been here before.
Well, there we go. Giant X starting on the defense side here. Or to that standard Viper wall that comes across B-Link.
Here.
And already we have this aggressive push-up here from MIBR. They're going for it. So I'm going to Cypher you, Tilda. Always going to catch them early out. SRN able to take care of it. GX trying to respond and set up over towards this A side themselves.
This is so fast, and now Noise Cut trying to work through. Slowly just poking and prodding now through the smoke as the rest of the Nebulas come down. They still have to deal with Jolina and main, and they do. Well done by Sayuri.
All of GX now set up over towards Flowers. Sarah inching over towards Secret as well. Those Astra smokes really canvassing so much of this area, and a 0 point there over towards dugout, sees nothing. Miori tries to step up and challenge. It's going to be a 1-for-1. SRN stepping away from that fragment. Nicely done. SRN with a quick 2-piece, and MIBR get on the board.
A really nice post-plant setup there from MIBR. Patient getting into the site with that free art control after just pivoting through Link. Really nicely handled. And then, yeah, when they did get onto the site, those post-plant setups, you know, they were back playing in main. Able to play in the Cubby as well, retaining one player in Art. And with the man advantage there, GX, nothing to be done.
A really aggressive play down. Connector had MIBR at the A site pretty darn fast. GX locked out.
3 suppressed.
This time through Restaurant. MIBR with 3 identified from that 0 point of GX.
Just working their way into that early A control, prioritizing that orb take. And slowing things down. The rest of the map just containing. You can see that turret placed by Jubish and top mid. Going to watch for any aggressive pushes, but of course if you're taking a look at the mini-map, that's not going to happen. GX just gambling, going for that B stack.
They might be trying to tease out some information here. Maybe a foray over towards Link. Now coming straight down B though are MIBR. This could be a deadly trap here that GX have laid. Is Astra U2 going to go up? Trailblazer does at least spot them. Smurfette.
This is a cool little bait setup that they have back screen as well, with Smurfette taking the contact. They wouldn't expect Miori to also be in the corner. But MIBR
are taking it.
They're taking their time very slowly in this round, prodding around the map, getting some of that information. And look at this. In the meantime, it was just Sayuri
30 seconds left.
Slowly working into the A site, inserting herself and allowing the rest of the team to safely rotate back. This is just a nice, smooth round from them. Should be a clean finish.
Oh, I don't think Sarah's hoping for that at all. Looking for the confirm at least on MIBR having headed over towards A. She gets picked off. Now again, in much the same way as the previous round, GX have to make their way up secret. With all these Astra smoke still in the way, Recon doesn't reveal anything to them either, and MIBR in this post-part have got the weaponry to throw down. SRN looking to take contact here, Miori straight into the crosshair. The second would have been good, but the Classic of Ness claims it. And Jubish able to find Smurfette. Still down, it's up to Jolina. Big job. And MIBR again, clever rotation away from B.
Again, just this smoothness, the ease of a round like that from MIBR. We're only 2 in, but I am impressed with the play. Of course, the team that bested Team Liquid over in the Brazilian qualifier hadn't been able to do so for the majority of the year. And then when it got to stage 3, they were finally able to break through that glass ceiling, make it to this tournament. And we're on to the first bye round. MIBR gathered up with multiple players outside of B. You're going to have to deal with a Jet in that location. And when we get there, economically, Operator going to be so crucial defensively on this map.
Sarah looking for that early 0 point. Might have spotted this push down from MIBR, but they're already down towards B main. Miori! Nice little 2-piece there. That shuts down the Link presence. They're still going to have to wrap and help back on this B side properly. Through Link, Miori set up. That Viper wall from MIBR, though, needs to be traversed, and Sarah's under some pressure in towards Halls here. Miori finds 3 in this round, eventually brought down. There's only Melissa left here for MIBR. She's made a 1v1 of it. The Ness able to shut her down.
Fair attempt from those remaining 3 MIBR players, getting a lot of damage done there, all forced to press from the front. I mean, can't give enough credit to Miori for that very clean 2K that we saw over in Link. It was the movement on the second kill here that was really nice. Look at that little adjustment back to the left to deal with Sayuri. Lovely stuff from the Cypher. And of course, just breaks that split attempt into a straight upside hit from B.
Right there.
Very well done.
Once again, you'll notice where Miori's positioned right up against mid doors here. This time though, MIBR more slowly working their way towards Restaurant.
Of note, Smurfette only able to afford an outlaw here. Now, light armor's on the other side. Early engagement from Ness, risking a lot by taking that engagement fully. Didn't fall back. SRN, first blood.
There's no backup whatsoever for Ness, but Jolina is there holding the line.
What a tap.
It still has this Nebula as well, or at least an Astra Star to work with. This is taking the wind out of MIBR's sails, despite that free pick.
And in the Meantime, look at Smurfette, has pushed up into this forward position. B-Main should be able to get a shot off, does that damage, but again, lack of light armor. Melissa going to stay alive on just 10 HP. But because of that position, you can see that GX, they're able to focus elsewhere on the map. They are more drawing more attention towards A, where MIBR are intending on hitting another tap from Jelena.
At some point, Sori and Co are going to have to go for this. Juvish here, pressing the side fire that link direction, wants to clear Dark out here, but Miori has the backstab opportunity and the neural theft here. Nova Pulse there with the catch on the side itself. It's all down to Sayori. And the bottom falls out of the boat. GX with a second on the board.
Some really great map control from them, but huge credit to Jelena finding that initial trade after a really risky engagement was taken from Ness, punished for it, as you can see right there, SRN. But, I mean, it was actually a previous one that just had that second tap.
There are 2 kills in the same manner.
Yeah, really fantastic anchoring. Pistol lost, but GX right back into this one.
Great recovery. Do we see that kind of push up here from GX? You notice they're really using Miori aggressively. Again, through mid doors.
I need to stop. Pulling them in.
So the early info is going to be a fast hit over towards the A side here. Recon might have caught a ping onto MIBR. It's SRN with the Blade Storm now.
Yeah, it was that speed trying to take advantage of the stinger that SRN does have, but orb collected, and similarly again for Smurfette, able to press up here for free, take all of this space. The scoped weaponry really is why you pick into the Jet on this map. We've seen a lot of people trending towards the Neon, but Jet does have that consistency. We always saw on Pearl in the past, sort of similar to Ascent, how much a Jet can take over the game on defense.
Miori surely to be seen here, trying to play close to mid doors, and SRN is going to be there with the Blades. Now MIBR get up the middle of the map here. Sarah, does she have a chance to intervene here from Link? I don't think she has the sideline. And now the pressure comes towards A. Seekers in the direction of Ness. Now she's about to get some action. Takes SRN down in midair. Guiding Light comes out, and MIBR explode through that nebula. 3 versus 2, but the site is open for the taking.
This is going to be really tough with Smurfette only having the Outlaw on hands and doesn't really have an easy Vandal to collect. Perhaps through just working backside might be able to pick something up. That's even just a stinger. So a lot of pressure on Sarah to crack this open.
Sarah at least is able to get out of flowers. Oh, Jelly holds it down on the side. Now Smurfette with it all to do. Jelly also on the swing around the site here. This is an uncomfortable situation for the Jets. Spotted out, of course, by that turret, has the cloud bursted, and there it is, 4 in the round for Jelly. MIBR finally break through mid, get that connected control, it's an easy A take.
Just so many kills coming through by a crucial duo, really the driving force to me for this MIBR team. It's SRN who's able to get that orb, get the Blade Storm active, get that first kill. And Jelly, the initiator, set up for her as well. A really strong duo. I mean, has to be mentioned going into this regionally in the Brazilian qualifier. SRN is coming into this as a Jet with 1.1 average kills per round. I mean, outrageous numbers that they put up to make it to their first international tournament.
They're on pace for that yet again here, Wyatt. Smurfette wants to push up. This time, though, over on the A side, so no cheating up towards B Ram from GX this time around. And these will open for MIBR to head that way. Of course, with guns like this, they're going to be wary, of course, of any potential stack here towards Hall and Screens, but it's just Miori for the time being.
It is a speedy pivot. This Trailblazer will take care of that. Tripwire and a lovely molly as well. Miori is just doomed in this position. Forced out Screens. If she can even get one, that would be miraculous.
Astra Smoke gave us some room to work though. Ness trying to play up close there with a bucket. It's going to be a 1-for-1. Miori now getting a bit of extra help. Smurfette out through Lincoln. MIBR have stalled out here.
I really want them to take their time, stall this out, wait for that Nebula to drop. They have the superior weaponry. They know that bucket could have even been recovered at this point. Play at the range. They do have an alarm bot all the way back too, so they know they're not being flanked. Just take their time.
0 point there though for GX on the refresh timing, but Smurfette goes down yet another Nebula at some point. MIBR are gonna have to go for this. Jelly just pushes up to it there, no flash required. Cosmic Divide here used by MIBR. It's gonna give them the room to get this plant down, but it's up to Jolini here. Quite a tall task. Yep, they swing the wall and are brought down. Another multi-round for Jelly.
Lovely mid-round play from MIBR, and I'm not mad at them using that Cosmic Divide either, just to lock things up by cutting off that back halls angle, the heaven angle, etc. Even the link one. They can just focus on the players that are probably pressed close towards screens. Maybe someone front halls. It's exactly what they do. Nicely done to clean things up. I forgot a bit scary for a moment, that surprise close-up Bucky behind the smoke.
And that is this Sky Comp as well. You don't have like a surplus of flashes, so at some point, if they keep throwing these nebula smokes at you, you kind of have to push through. They do at least have the Cosmic Divide, though, to help break up that site.
That really is the primary difference between the initiators selected between these two comps. KO recently in the Sen City Invitational had a 100% pick rate on this map. Sova picked extremely frequently as well. Lacking both of those agents are MIBR, so a lot of reliance going to be on the Sky.
We often see these flashes used to scout early in the round. Here come the Seekers over towards the A side. Immediately, Jelena backing up over towards Dugout here. There's RN's able to dash past some of that Astro Util though and get forward. A, not free for the taking, get. As Jelena has to reveal themselves now. Playing it from Dugout, waiting for the rest of GX to get here. And that's going to go for it. Hunter's Fury throwing that over on the side. That's SRN going down. They had pushed, I think, over towards Dugout themselves.
Oh, lovely duel went from Miori, coming in from Art now. A lot of pressure default. Jelly in so much trouble, could be pitched from multiple angles, and his upshot goes awry though.
So no plant yet. Jelly able to push up on the side.
What is that?
3 for Jelly. No plant even required.
That wallbang headshot at the end was crazy. What a flood from MIBR. Both teams being very proactive in such a chaotic moment. Jolena calling for that help. That's where the Hunter's Fury comes in, because she was isolated in that position, dug out on the site. The rest of the GX players tried to flood in, but then MIBR supporting Jelly at the very end.
I agree. Was that a look of disgust? I get it. That was kind of filthy. All right, yeah, if any time to go for attack pause, probably about now here. MIBR have strung together the last 3 rounds in a row. And honestly, each of the hits have looked pretty different, right? We saw in round 7, that push over towards the B side of the map where MIBR had already stacked A. This time working their way down through Restaurant, through Link over to the A side.
Doing a good job taking advantage of that Viper's wall as well, just having it offering that easy way to feign that they could be contacting a different part of the map and forcing GX to use utilities to re-clear elsewhere. MIBR are playing a pretty impressive attack half right now. I mean, based on just what we've seen in the past, especially last year, how strong Team Liquid were in the Game Changers Championship. The fact that MIBR bested them and are here, they are coming in with big expectations, even though they're from one of the regions that only has 1 qualifying team.
Jelly at 13 kills. 7 of those have happened in post plants on the A side of the map, while they are anchored on the spike location. A pretty exposed spot to be. MIBR really putting it together in those final moments.
And the Brazilian side have shown that they are happy to play some of these very slow rounds, and certainly seems like that will be the intention when they have the operator in hand. Just wait out some of those pushes, try and find an entry that way. Smurfette collects the orb, Blade Storm popped, so listen, if GX can make a miracle happen, get an upset win on this round, you have to imagine she'll be the catalyst.
MIBR are going to give GX time here to reassemble over towards the B side. They go for a pop here with just these sheriffs on A. They don't see anything. And MIBR are happy to be a bit more ponderous. They know they're walking into an anti-eco round. They don't want to get caught by any setups. You'll notice here, Melissa, be extremely meticulous, even clearing that left side there towards B, mate.
Seeing if anyone gets baited out as well into this officer and has a chance. Needs to play safe behind the box though. A lot of pressure onto her, but gets the first. Flick shot just misses and feels content just getting out with the one, finding that advantage. But also all of that information, all of those pressed up players, MIBR, they want to work towards A now.
And you've got all the Astro Util you need for MIBR to get in onto this A side. One over towards Link, and in the secret, here's Jelly. Once again, bigger nuisance of that plant location. Miori is a long way from this action here. Jelly will get that down. I mean, how many of those Sky ults we've seen already? Oh my goodness, Miori! Okay, more to do, but that is a beautiful opener. Potentially a weapon upgrade, but of course the spam comes in as a cyber cage was deployed.
Yeah, weary to try and push through that, just go down to the random spam, dealing with the turret. You can't win too many double faces when you've just got the Sheriff. One, outrageous enough. A second aim with the turret, little too much to ask. Fair bit of damage done though. The GX, as intended, taking their time, finding an opening with the operator, and then SRN getting out safely.
GX are really trying to be proactive here, even on these save rounds.
Yeah, in that moment, they tried to find that timing to all swing through the smoke. Not mad at getting active in a situation like that, but MIBR's superior weaponry, and they just each watching the proper angles deal with that. Pretty simple fashion.
Smurfet's actually pushing up an art here with an operator. Spicy little position to take early. Sori also reciprocating, holding the operator herself as Astra. They might be now making their way down towards A main.
With that position in main, they've allowed both tripwires to be placed on A, but this lockdown should force the defenders out of range where even if one of those trips does go off, they won't be able to get the spam kill.
Yeah. Trailblazer reveals one of those trips. SRN spotted out now. Lockdown is done, and GX going to come streaming back into the side. The wallbang is good from Iori here from Dugout.
I've got your
Poison Orb in the way. Smurfette also peering in from Link. Nobody ever revealed the position of the operator player from GX. Now down to 3. Jelly has to kind of go for it here. The only player actually on the site here is MIBR playing off of it, Sayori. Good connection with the operator. Jelly looks to cross back over, and all of a sudden the MIBR looking at a better position. But it's up to Jelly. Trying to play off the flash here. Ness goes for a solo pick. Could have gone awry. But GX get their third.
Scrappy back and forth there, to be honest. That lack of art control, but also just the angle not being concealed. And then after that, the Cosmic Divide pressing out of Flower just a little bit too early, going down to SRN. Scary moments for either side. Miori is really having big impact on defense right now. Has been stepping up to the plate for GX. Deserves a lot of credit.
Zero op play on the extremities of the map that last round. All of it was over towards mid, through art, through connector, and then trying to get involved in the post plant.
I am really looking to see now if Smurfette can begin to take over this game with the defensive op. It is so crucial for finding those openings. At the moment, though, MIBR, they're gathered up for another fast take towards A. Collect that orb once again. They have a Cosmic Divide to get into the site, and a lovely opening from SRN.
Okay, so GX don't opt to play off of this Cypher util. They actually have Ness trying to take raw contact there. Miori trying to skirt around the edge of that cyber case, but there's nothing to be found. It's up to Jolene here. But a Viper's Beak being thrown down by MIBR, and a Cosmic Divide here means Jolena is going to have to wait.
These ultimates in tandem are just so good for getting that safe plant playing around the pit.
Here we go. Geronimo says Jolena, they've been able to find 2 inside the pit already. The rest of MIBR play off of this, outside of it to a degree. Even that smoke getting thrown down. Smurfex and Jolena, rather, both decayed down. Strong wind would blow them over here. Can they push up, make something happen? No, Melissa are able to spray them down. And against the Astra and Viper ultimates in concert. That's a tough ask of GX.
MIBR just keep it so simple, understanding the massive value that those 2 ultimates have as a duo. Win the round with such ease because of it. Again, though, on this A side too, SRN finding these easy opening kills, winning those initial duels.
Look, it was both Miori and Ness there offer these opportunities for MIBR to take player advantage, as opposed to playing passively off the side of that Cypher util. Maybe there's a fear of being cut off by so much of this Astra smoke.
And right now, ready for a bit of a trap play, or GX with that flashpoint, ready to go over the top. Smurfette ready to take that fight. But it's MIBR going for an exploration towards mid, something they haven't done in recent rounds. Early in the half, though, they put a bit more emphasis there while they contain on A, contain on B.
They're really mindful of these pushes up from A main by GX. MIBR already have a really good feel, I think, for some of these anti-eco strats that GX have been going for on defense. Saren, oh my goodness, little flick! Okay, Jubish there to try and pick up the pieces, but it ends up being a 1-for-1, or a 2-for-2 rather. And Smurfette wants a bit more of this action. With one of the few rifles on the side of GX, that one clatters to the ground. Jelly gets to confirm the extra player here for GX.
Now they just need to group up MIBR. The only way they lose this is really if they wander into some unfortunate 1v1s. Yori with the cam. she might have an opportunity to even this up to a 2 versus 2 if she can catch Melissa unaware.
Spike those headed to A. At least it was. I like this little wrapper around. That's perfect for Melissa. And stroke of serendipity here for MIBR. Now that Spike is being ferried quickly over to the B side. That is beautiful stuff. Now Melissa has a chance to find a nice little goblin spot to play from. It's all on Sarah.
So unfortunate too with the state of the economy for GX. They're going to have a really bad buy for the final round, of course, unless Sarah makes an insane clutch happen here.
There's so much setup here for MIBR. Melissa spotted here as well, just the shoulder. Sarah knows now to cross would be disastrous. She won't be able to push that player either. Too much util to do with that Nova Pulse coming down, and Melissa wants to play off of it. 8 rounds here on the attack side for MIBR as GX late in these rounds are struggling to come up with the answer.
This has been such an elite attack half from MIBR at the moment. A little bit risky for Melissa, that very exploratory move towards B going so deep, but it looked like just caught a timing on the camera there. It was good early trades from GX, but
that random flash.
You can see the frustration on the face of the coach.
And Jelly throws out that random, I see A-Link flash and sees another player pushing up there from GX, so they know there can only be one player over to B. Last round and a half here. MIBR looking for 9.
Go towards mid. There hasn't been much aggression in this area from GX, but they are putting a lot of emphasis on it now. Jolina in so much trouble, can't be traded out.
Oh, that's crappy stuff, but Jelly's able to find 2 here, and GX, they take a gambit. Look at the blue X's over towards mid. They'll push up from Art as well. It doesn't go their way, and constantly, GX have been trying to do this, whether over to the A side of the map. They've also been sneaking Smurfette early up that B side of the map too. They've not been able to find anything from these early forays. This one goes horribly wrong for them.
This is just another day in the office for them, it looks like. These rounds are coming to them all too easy. It's not even their map pick. Trading out for each other so effectively. Well, the GX players get caught. That second swing not coming at the proper time, and so the crosshairs already reset for MIBR. And winning out the duels a secondary time, just with the talent that they have mechanically. Really impressive opening for this team.
At times a standout here for GX. We already just can't get it done. And that is 9 rounds on the attack side for MIBR. GX, they want to push up on the extremities and fall back behind this Astra util, but it's been read time and time again by MIBR.
They worked the map so well throughout that entire half, opting at the very end to start putting that pressure towards mid. So nicely done.
All right, halftime now on Pearl. We're going to take a quick break, and when we return, we'll jump back into the action here in the first map of the day.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Some might consider that first half a reckoning for GX as they select Pearl, and MIBR rapidly take them to task. A pretty comfortable lead coming out of the half, and MIBR with 7 of the last 8 rounds of their attack side, Wyatt.
Really just picked apart piece by piece. For me, reflecting on that half, I think the most noticeable difference is in the fundamentals of the game. The trading for MIBR was just so clean. And for GX, so many moments where players were getting caught on their own, going for solo efforts that were immediately being punished. And in the big scrappy fights, the right angles being held by MIBR, swinging for each other, just more consistently in the right positions. GX are going to really have to tighten up as we get into this second half while they're on attack. I'm going to need to see some excellent scaling when they're going for the big site executes.
It's the first time these two teams have ever played, right?
Yeah.
So in this encounter, you have only so long to get a feel for each other. MIBR very quickly picking up on some of these GX tendencies.
Not just the first time they played each other, the first time both these teams have been at a LAN competing as well. Every MIBR player, they've never been in this situation. For GX, they have a bit more of that experience with Smurfette and Ness, the duo that have been playing together for a really long time.
2022
Guild, yeah, had competed in Berlin as well. That experience is going to need to come in seriously to play to make a comeback happen. This is their map pick.
Already this aggressive push up for MIBR on the B side. Nessie and Underwiser. Most of the attention towards B Link now. GX want to take control of the middle of the map. That turret takes contact. MIBR now start to sniff out this exploration, but do you wish to do anything about it? Answer is no. SRN though getting involved here. A 1-for-1 and all the way down. GX are pushed into water, no less. Looking to get themselves some more ghosts.
A lot of pressure on them. They know that they have no control of this map. When they plant on A, they're going to have to be worried about a retake coming in from every single angle.
And we got two grouped up here heading into R for MIBR. So now going to allow this part to go down. Sayori continues to look stunning. And now she's in a defender spawn already. This has GX heads turned. Both these players being drawn back. Sarah and Jolina have to be able to answer this, but there's pressure coming from the front side of A as well. Sarah doesn't know which way to look. Jelly with the flash plays off it perfectly, and MIBR pick up where they left off.
And even when Sayori hits two shots like that, doesn't even go for the next duel, just buys time, falls back for the rest of the team to come assist.
The spacing for MIBR has been excellent.
And that wasn't even that was a perfectly fine double swing from GX. It's just the rapid adjustment on the crosshair from Sayori. You just can't win a situation like that. Look at this.
Oh, man.
Insane.
Nice, vamos.
Yeah, we're stepping up on an individual level here. MIBR. Pajaska has been looking pretty glum for the last 10 or so rounds.
Certainly not looking like a team that is inexperienced on a big stage like this. The confidence is flowing. They are locked in as a team right now, and individually, the talent is shining.
It's time to push over towards B for GX. Oh my goodness, SRN waiting there with the Outlaw. Smurfette hoping to open this round up with that Marshall that's been pinged out. This line will be watched. This is where the scope weapons start to become pretty oppressive on Pearl, but Ness gets in there. Marshall recovered and used to great effect.
The David Goliath scoped weapon battle somehow gets traded back. The Marshall wins that, all good. Miori trying to go for an adventure in mid. Might find a timing onto Jubish. Aware that this could be happening.
Jubish fading a bit of sound here, so both Sentinel players in the middle of the map aware of each other's presence. An Outlaw yet to be recovered. It's still sat out in front of Jelly, but GX have committed to this B main approach now. A defensive Viper wall thrown out by MIBR, screening GX off for the time being. And there it is, Miori takes that fight. Jubish down, and now you have some link presence for the attackers.
Let's go for the re-swing on their Lonesome finds the first, exposed to so many angles, but the shots just aren't connecting in time.
30 seconds left.
Jelena brings it to the 2v2, could have been a 3v2 realistically. Low HP for the GX players.
Now we're trying to bring Sayori in from a long way away. Melissa
Spike planted.
Wisely opts not to try and take a fight here. Set up in tower. You'll have link presence. You should have a crossfire even on Jolina's position, but the timing. Jolina not spotted here as she crosses over. Sayori though on the move. Spectre gets her there. Another player from Halls. Miori shows herself. Finds a headshot. Now the 1 versus 1. Miori down to 48. A tickle. Melissa tries to turn. 13 for Miori. One headshot will get the job done. Can she connect it? Time is short. Just needs to play with her food here. Melissa brings her down. Miori maybe lingers just a little too long. And that's a heartbreaker, Wyatt.
The HP just too low and the weaponry not good enough. Having the Marshall in that position, it's so awkward that one player has the longest range weapon, the other has the shortest range weapon. So what can you do? You just have to stack up close, and that Marshall just had to operate like a sheriff.
Yeah.
A good attempt. This was really the moment, though, when Jelly swung out alone. It was a big risk, was exposed to multiple angles, but the shots just didn't connect fast enough. They couldn't found that advantage.
With the Guardian as well, Jelly showed great composure, I think, to hold it down and at least find 2 for their life. That Outlaw player only gets 1 kill in the end for MIBR over to the B side.
Listen, at the very least, it always hurts when you almost convert around like that, and then you have to say over comms, good damage though. But they did do good damage, because you know you could have won it, but the damage does matter. GX have a significantly better buy than MIBR now.
So Jelly got pinged out in the middle of the map by a recon. This has kept Ness at bay for most of this early round. MIBR starting to explore up towards Art. Passively shoulder peeking the B long, so Jubish knows that there's no one from GX looking to make that play yet.
This deep cam place from Miori over towards B,
right
so
here.
We'll be aware if any players are pressing up there. They want to make some noise towards this link. They want to start drawing MIBR's attention.
This smoke's about to come down.
Maybe there will be a split here. The cage, like, hey, we could be crossing, but they're just going to fall back and split into A, more than likely try and make some presence into Art here. And when this Nebula fades, the GX will go into the main.
They already has an additional star behind it though. And yeah, that one gets turned into short-term smoke. There's also going to be a poison orb there thrown up by Melissa.
This is some great delay action. MIBR, and what a shot from SRN.
Now they're going to do something about this presence from Connector, but SRN could just fall back on it. GX are low on time. They will be allowed to get the plant here. And the Astra Stars are being placed over towards Flowers and backside.
Look at this flank right now. 2 players for MIBR. Smurfette could be in trouble. Needs to land a shot here. Well, 1 is good for 2 kills, I suppose. Not too bad.
Still more though needs to happen. SRN brought down Ness with the rifle. Sayori eventually going to pry that from her grip, and now it's Sayori in a 1 versus 3. Smurfette on the line though, gets brought down either way. It's going to be a trade. And so GX get in there, but not terrible bonus for MIBR.
Struggling against MIBR's very intentional utility. It's not just being thrown around haphazardly. That cycle on main from the Nebula into the poison cloud. Understanding that a push could be coming after the drop and sending out the snake bite as well. It was good utility from MIBR.
Here.
GX still overcome it though with the superior weaponry. Very tough though. Even in a round like that, MIBR showing the layers to their game.
MIBR with the buy now. GX still able to come out of that bonus with full weaponry. This time it's a push over towards the B side. Passive shoulder peeking from Jubish, and yeah, it might be just a full retake setup for MIBR.
Unfortunately for them on the GX won't have to contend with the glass cannon operator on SRN.
Still, look at all this util. Gravity well popped there. Smurfette has to use some of her mobility to get up past it.
I know exactly.
Nesamiori already made it happen. Here's the neural theft now coming up. Melissa knows she's about to be tagged here. Has to make the play. Maybe a quick swing through this Cosmic Divide. MIBR realize there's not much to be done here.
At this point, they just want to go recover that operator. Miori doesn't exactly want that to happen. Going for this flank through water. Might be able to find the timing. Do other GX players try to take a risk, commit, get the guns out of the hands of MIBR?
Or it should be good for 1 here. Melissa, though, on the line already. Okay. MIBR able to head over towards the A side, recover the weapon. Melissa here hoping to contain to some degree because GX are on the hunt. MIBR can take 2 rifles and the operator out of this round here. They'll be feeling pretty good.
It was a rare round, honestly, for MIBR where things, at least rare in this game, where things began to feel very disconnected off that Cosmic Divide. It seemed that there were divided ideas on whether we should be pushing through it or not off this flash, playing a bit more passively, waiting for it to drop. And Jelly, who has had the hot hand in this game, went for that aggressive swing, knowing that in that moment that the Jet Smurfette was on top of the box, had the crosshair placed for it, but big risk. And that Cosmic Divide still so powerful when you're going for the B execute.
There's a rogue recon vault from Nesta that also pings a couple players of MIBR behind that Cosmic Divide. So GX had the full read. This time around though, much the same, except the SRN with the operator already pushing up on that B side. This could get a bit awkward.
Definitely dangerous, but the Sova is over here, so you have to imagine Ness is ready to send this drone out, try and force the potential operator off the line.
SRN is... This is a pretty committed spot to play in now. Now Cloudburst, you're going to have to try and cross here. Still going to get pinged out off the line, and you have to tail with away. virtually having to give up this B side. Of course, a Viper wall, you can fall back behind it. SRN wants to fight here, but they need to buy a bit of time for these reinforcements to come. There's one from Link here. Jelly will be able to get involved. Time has been bought, enough! It's Smurfette, flashes through the wall, eventually brought down by the operator, but Jelly has fallen. SRN suppressed here. No mobility, one in the chamber. Has to buy some time, it goes for a no-scope that goes horribly awry. And out to Sayori with nothing but a classic to try and bail them out, and GX starting to string them together.
Chaotic is an understatement there. GX a bit monotonous getting into the site. Far too many opportunities for SRN to take that swing. Luckily for them, whiffs the shots, and then when they eventually do power their way into the site, they do a nice job dealing with those players flooding back in. So credit to them in this situation that you're seeing right now, dealing with this. Yeah, that flood exactly there. Coming out of the link. Still staying in this. That wasn't MIBR's buy, however. That was just based off the saved weaponry from the prior round. They won't have the cash to bring an operator into this next, because we're going to get a timeout. GX finally finding their footing.
I don't mind seeing MIBR mix around like that, even where SRN tries to get a bit audacious on the B side, but it's pretty clear that GX have the protocols to push a jet off one of those extremity lines, like we just saw. SRN really have to contort themselves into a position to get away. Back to safety after the Al drone came down on B. And a nice little Astra smoke there, cuts off Link, makes any retake or any attempt to reinforce SRN's position there by MIBR pretty hopeless.
When we do head back into this game, you definitely need to draw your eyes towards the status of a lot of the ultimates right now. Not only are there a few in play, but Ness and Sarah, both GX initiators, but one orb away to getting the Hunter's Fury, the Null command active. Jelly on the opposite side, one away from the Seeker, so could see some serious contention over these alt orbs right now. Maybe MIBR will attempt to set up some sort of trap play around one. Always a possibility for that too.
Looks like just the passive B-side round here for MIBR. It'll just be the shoulder peak of Jubish. Oh, we might have a push up here defensively from MIBR though. Keep an eye on A.
Looks like, yeah, we are going to get that clash over the orb. The Nebula comes down to obscure that view. Goes on to Jelly. Seeker's active. Smurfette wants to fight, has to dash out.
SRN though gets brought down. Smurfette re-challenges after the tailwind. The Jolita sprays him down. And all of a sudden, MIBR have their knees cut out from under them. They're in no position to intervene here at all. Their economy was already shaky coming into this round. Nicely done, GX ready for that thrust of MIBR.
That is going to be a full save, and there is no reason for GX not to go on the hunt at the moment. Both Melissa and Jabish, just a couple hundred credits.
Ugly round there for MIBR, and you think Smurfette's in trouble. I think she gets caught in the fringes of the grav well, has to use the tailwind, re-challenges that line, and able to double swing it with Jolita.
There was a moment too where I got to see what I wanted to see from GX coming into this half. Starting to play together in these fundamental situations. Melissa on the swing, but goes down to Ness. That's one gun remove, might be the second off the flash. No, Jabish able to deal with the two. Doesn't matter, the two went down. The cash for GX is out of control at the moment. MIBR forced back onto the eco. GX actually making a real go of this. But it was in this situation. Look at Smurfette going forward, but having Jelena and Ness right there behind her. It was a triple swing together, and I believe that was the Nova Pulse coming down as well on the opposite side. Handled with such finesse there.
That early fight over Lord's Restaurant is really complicated by all of the Astra util. Look at that. 4 stars in total placed there already at the start of this round. Won't be any early action there. Bladestorm here, I think. Yeah, SRN hoping to supplement the lack of weaponry in this round. Again, spotted out by this early clearing protocol. Still able to get a kill on Smurfette, no less. But no way to recover a weapon, and they'll still be caught by the heal.
Just barely shot down by the stray bullet before the heal. Got them over the threshold.
Standing ahead.
Luckily trading that out, and now an opportunity for GX to attempt to stabilize here. Slow things down. Not wade their way into any positions where a Sheriff could be hiding in the corner, have to be worried about any close-range shotguns as well. That was something they tried when they were on defense, and an eco like this. So play with the time that they have, play patiently. It's dwindling a bit, however, as they take this slow rotate through spawn. Are going to have to spend a lot of time, potentially utility, re-clearing here towards A main.
B-side just got re-cleared, so Jelly instantly running back through spawn over towards this A site.
This is looking dangerous on the minimap right now.
Sayuri also recalling a lot of those early stars that were placed in this very part of the map, now redeploying those. Okay, Null Commando, that's a pretty good opener here. Way to potentially unseat the defenders who hoping to play off some of this util to get at an edge. There's the spray down. Melissa couldn't do anything about that duck out position. Jelly from Link here. Sayuri is also here. Might be now waiting their chance. The smoke comes down. Jubi's able to find two, but Zera is on 3 for the round. Jelly might be good for 1 here. But that's really all you could expect at this point. Giant X eyeing off their 8th round.
Null Command really the difference maker there between a situation that could have potentially gotten MIBR to match point, forcing them to stay back in those smokes, not having the opportunity to get out, and that recon as well, pinging up for the opening. Ultimate invested, but invested in a much-needed situation just to convert that eco. Not mad at it. And now we're heading into a full buy round where SRN is going to get the operator in hands. 6 ultimates in play.
And a very pivotal round on this map. MIBR so far have really struggled to get into a rhythm on this defense side.
And if GX win this again, MIBR's economy will be fully cracked. Such a real opportunity to tie this up. They need this round desperately.
What a fight to take it, it's baited! Perfect from Smurfette.
There we go again, the fundamentals, the trading looking so much better now from GX. They really are starting to come to life in the second half.
Looking to flash themselves into A-Link here. Covered with this util. GX should be able to make the way onto the site now as MIBR playing back towards Secret, towards Flowers. Behind much of this Astra util already deployed by the attackers.
They have a Cosmic Divide as well. A late Hunter's Fury could come into play, and wouldn't be surprised to see just that, as Ness is all the way far back in A-main, being protected by a tripwire, so does feel safe to send that ultimate out when necessary, and here it is. Stop that lockdown.
All right. There's the lockdown taken out. Nicely done by GX. Also protocols coming to life. Zera the removed Smurfette a little bit wayward on the aim, but eventually able to connect it. Sayuri though with the operator getting involved. GX down to 2, trying to get this defuse. And finally MIBR find a little something. Take themselves to map point.
4 versus 5, but they just risk it all with every single ultimate. Truly an all or nothing decision. If they lose that there, they have no ults left and no money left.
Could have been the game in the balance.
Absolutely. That is potentially the game-winning round right there. GX had it in their grasp as well. With that isolation on site with the Cosmic Divide, Sarah stuck on default.
Nice, boa!
And they basically forced GX to go in 1s and 2s through Nebulae, through Cosmic Divides. It's so complicated for GX to put it together there.
They started off with such a great first kill as well. Again, those swings together, the jiggle back, the double swing is so good from GX. MIBR finally stopping a string of 5-round wins in a row for Giants.
Just a singular Jubish here over at B. Viper spin at A. Melissa already shutting down that play. There's a Cosmic Divide now for GX. This should get them onto the B side now, force the retake setup entirely.
Should be a very easy plan here. Play from long B. Shock Dart as well, dealt with all of that KJ utility on the ground immediately. It was a trip and alarm bot dealt with just by that one piece of utility. Waiting for the wall to drop. 2 players from GX. Backhauls playing together.
Pings towards backhauls from MIBR, though they know there's going to be a couple players stacked here. Fragment just to push back GX in this spot here. Yeah, MIBR really want to make sure there's no swing from Smurfette to help out in a crossfire situation. But Miori's in there, takes the fight down to 3, but she's happy enough with that one. Jubish emerges with nothing but a knife in her hands. And Jelly has to go for it now. Guardian in hand. Still 3 out for GX. But they stay alive in this game.
The grab well with the Seeker stuck into it was a little bit unlucky. They just got shot down at the same time. The Halls players didn't even have to bother with those. And then the cage after the grab well was perfectly timed from Miori to continue the map control in that crucial area in the retake. Having to deal with that, but when you're also getting shot in the side from B main is a nightmare. That Hall double up from Smurfette and Miori just really paid dividends.
You can see here, GX have already managed to string them together themselves here on this attack side. MIBR have to expect this, as in every round. Oh, the trap. I love this. 3 players playing out of sight. Only the one Astra getting spotted out. Do GX walk into this?
Do they think it is possible? Off the contact of SRN, that pop flash is going to go out from Jelly.
Suspicious. Yeah, they realize something's afoot here. Smurfette not able to get away, so maybe just a one here for MIBR. Perhaps they linger a little bit too long. That's what we're gonna get.
Sprung that trap just a second too early. If there was just a couple more footsteps forward committed by GX, it would have resulted in them not being able to round that corner back towards stairs. And now, oh my god, Sayuri on site with two. That is outlandish.
Should be on the back step here as well. She might see a freebie. No, it's gonna be checked by Jolina. I'm not gonna lie, man. This Sayuri Sheriff moments. You always feel like it's possible.
She has looked so insane on this map. That 2K on the pistol as well. The fast adjustments that she has with the aim have been so impressive. But it was really in this moment where, yeah, you can see MIBR, they wanted to capitalize off of that flash. They knew they had pinged up so many players. But for GX, they just hadn't committed as far. They baited them out in that situation. So nicely done. For the European side, A main control is the focus here as 0 point goes out, flash over the tops around the corner and force back the MIBR players, excuse me. Map control gained into a fast hit here with the null command too.
MIBR didn't want to take the early fight. They must feel like their margin of error a little bit slimmer now. Smurfette here. Up in Link still knows that MIBR are going to try and make their way down, but she doesn't fully clear this. Doesn't fully check it.
Is wrapping late though. Trailblazer comes out, is totally unaware that Sayuri was right there.
This is dangerous now for GX. They didn't know about the Link presence. 2 players from MIBR waiting for them. Now it's Ness and Smurfette need to bail themselves out. Just Smurfette in a 1 versus 2. 3 for the round. And this would be for the map. Sayuri converts. And MIBR, they have to feel like they get a little lucky. GX starting to build up a head of steam towards the end of that half. But around here, around there, that's enough for MIBR after such a great first half.
GX definitely instilling some hope in their fans, though, after that second half. They started very slow, and MIBR's attack half was fantastic. But now we've got a real game on our hands.
That was the GX pick, though. Pearl picked up Sunset next on the docket. Stick around, folks. This one is bound to get even hotter.